Hi everyone and welcome to this week's garden update. There's now only about 5 weeks left to go until spring arrives here in Australia, and I'm telling you, I've really cranked things up a gear here in my cottage garden over the last few days, getting it ready for the growing season ahead. I have to say I'm quite thrilled with all that I have achieved, which I'm going to show you now. This area may surprise you because it was only a few months ago it was full of flowers and vegetables, and now I've almost completely cleared it out to the bare soil. I still have a couple of perennials that I need to dig up and put into the back, like this lavender plant and this gaillardia that, believe it or not, still has a couple of small flowers on it. There's also this rainbow silver beet that will probably be the only plant that I'll leave in this section, because if I try to transplant it, more than likely I will probably kill it. I still need to remove all of the passion fruit suckers which are growing along this fence line. I think what I might do with this area is make long rows of garden beds. So a rough measurement, it's about 3 meters across by about 8 meters in length. So I'll be able to fit in maybe 3 or 4 long beds, and I can pack it up with some lovely spring flowers and vegetables. I still have all of these little plants that I could pop into that area. There's broccoli, cauliflower seedlings, rainbow chard, and some of this gorgeous purple kale that I'm thinking could double as filler in flower arrangements. And the rest of the area can be filled up with some beautiful spring annuals that I have growing here in my little greenhouse, plus all the ranunculus popping through the soil. And I've also got 2 trays of these anemones as well, both of which flower in spring. This week I made a start on pruning our 2 apple trees. They're both just here, and you can see in the middle there's a huge pile of branches, mostly from the Granny Smith. You can see here with the Granny Smith I have a lot of branches just shooting up, and they don't actually produce any apples at all. So I thought what I would do is just chop them all off, bringing the tree level a lot lower, meaning that the raised garden bed area gets more sun in the afternoon, because just behind me is where the sun sets, and I find by afternoon time this tree tends to shade it out quite a lot. These branches are only about half of the amount that I need to cut down. They're quite long and straight, which I'm excited about because I'll be able to make a lot of really nice trellises out of these. I filled up a lot of containers. This one is absolutely jam-packed with dwarf sweet peas. And over here by the raised garden bed area I have a few more containers. This may not be their final location, but for the moment it just makes it easier having them all together for watering. In here I have some polygalas. I've really packed those plants in. Ideally you could space them out a lot more, but you know, I just showed them all in together. I think I already showed you them. They're just some lovely orange pansies. Here are cineraeas, and let's quickly ignore all the weeds down there. I have some beautiful primulas. One of them is flowering a little bit, lovely white one, but there's another couple of plants in there to go as well. It's from a mixed pack, so I'm not sure what colours I'll get. Hopefully a bit of pink too. And just in case you're wondering why I have these covering them, it's to stop the chickens from digging my little plants up. When I was clearing the weeds underneath this lemon tree and here in this dahlia patch, I still have a long way to go. There's plenty of weeds left there to keep me busy, but I want to show you what I found. So many empty snail shells. Some of the shells were broken, like this one. I'm thinking maybe birds did this. And then there was plenty of other shells like this, which were completely intact. I'm not quite sure how this happened. I did do a bit of research on the internet, and it said that weather can kill off snails. So maybe this area in the garden got a bit cold, a bit of frost, and the snails inside died. I have been doing a huge amount of clearing out of garden beds this week. Pruning, weeding, being rootless in some places, pulling out plants that I just wasn't happy with. Here's one area I've done. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with this lovely silver foliage plant yet. It's kind of taken over the place, growing up the fence line, up the mulberry tree. I may or may not give it a good prune back. I'll have to think about it. I was on a bit of a mission, just going around taking everything out. So I have multiple piles like this that need to be gathered up around the garden and chucked into the compost pile. If we come over this way, here is an area that looks very different now. I have completely cleared it out. It's just over here near the orange tree. So remember, I had all of the nasturtiums. I've made a start in clearing out this area to free up some more garden beds. I pulled out all the weeds and plants in here, and this woody looking thing is the perennial basil. I've given it a massive hack back because it was taking up so much space. I would say about 2 by 2 meters in this whole area, and I really want to make room for plants that I love. That one was nice for greenery, but I can think of a lot better plants that can fill out this area. I want this to be beautiful and colourful come summertime. Over beside the perennial basil is this lemon verbena. It has a bit of foliage on top, but you can see here at the bottom it's pretty bare. Although I have to say there's lots of little green shoots on it that will fill out nicely in the next couple of months once the weather starts to warm up. When I was clearing out this area, I made an unexpected and fantastic discovery. It was this, a pimply squash. It was growing just about here in between the perennial basil and the lemon verbena, and I really wasn't expecting to find something like this. I had noticed during summertime that there was some kind of vine growing there that must have self-seeded, but I didn't really think much of it. I certainly wasn't expecting to make this discovery. I did grow this variety the year before last, so what I reckon happened was maybe some seeds fell in that area and this plant just grew. I love its really unusual, almost whimsical looking skin. It has lovely shades of yellow and green covered in these wart type bumps. I definitely think it's a really nice variety to grow if you're looking for some decorations for your porch during Halloween. And cooking wise, they do really well baked in the oven. Okay, let me get back to showing you around here. Snowflake's enjoying the fact that I cleared out this space. It makes it easier for her to scratch around at the ground looking for little bugs. And this way, it's all looking very bare, but I'm telling you, under the soil in here, there are so many dahlia tubers all in this space. And I'm actually planning on transplanting more dahlias into this area, which used to have a trellis there. I've removed that, and I'm thinking this whole section I'm just going to have full of flowers all the way down here. And again, whenever you see any coverings like this, it's usually a sign in my garden that I have freshly planted it and I'm trying to protect it from the chickens. So this originally used to be the strawberry patch. Now it's full of some annual spring flower seedlings. All in this section I have this mass planting of pansies. Up here I have some more cineraeas, some sweet peas. This is actually a foxglove that I sowed last year. There's actually 2 lots of foxgloves in here which will look beautiful. I can imagine they're tall spikes of flowers with the sweet peas. I just need to make a little teepee or structure for them to climb up. And then behind there are lots of primulas too. I think this garden update is all about using your imagination, because I've shown you a lot of bare patches today, but I'm telling you, come springtime, everything is just going to explode full of colour, beautiful foliage and flowers, edible crops. Well, that's about it for this week, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and supporting me on my gardening journey. Until next Friday, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.